So this is a video I've been wanting to do for so long, and it's Five Nights at Freddy's Confessions. I kept on forgetting to do it, but I finally remembered to do it this time, and basically we're going to be reviewing Five Nights at Freddy's Confessions. What they are is basically that some people, they just spit out their random confessions about Five Nights at Freddy's, and people in the comments either agree or disagree on this. So I'm going to be starting from top to bottom. Maybe I'll review like 20 or 10 of them. I'm not exactly sure, depends upon the length of them. So yeah, I think let's just go in. So the first one is William Afton is not supposed to be this unstoppable horror farming creature, but a pathetic man who views himself superior to everyone, even when his ego causes his death. Well, can't he just be both at the same time? Yeah, most of them are agreeing. Or I honestly see it as both because he does a horror farm, I think. Well, in the games not as much, but in the movies, yeah, he does that. But my problem with Springtrap and William Afton in general is that most of the times he is carried by fan animations or fanins quite a lot. The only time I've ever seen him being carried by something by looking so cool and all is through the films or this anything recent. Honestly, if Five Nights at Freddy's was made around this time, we would have seen more Springtrap than we have in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and 6 because we would get more clarification because in the previous games we barely got enough clarification, especially for the lore. I mean, to this day it's still messy, so that just shows that it's a massive problem. The next one, there are no bad Five Nights at Freddy's games. Security Breach isn't a bad game, it's just not the amazing game they promised, but it's still a pretty solid game. Okay, wait, what? There are no wait A lot of people are disagreeing with this. They don't seem to like it. Okay, I'm not exactly sure why. But here's the thing. When Security Breach came out, there was a huge controversy at the time. Because for those that are unaware, the time that Security Breach came out, it was super buggy. And people were complaining about it quite a lot. But it was apparently released early. But the problem is, according to Steel World, the day they released it, it was not supposed to be the original release date. So it was actually supposed to release maybe around middle of 2022 or early 2022. It came out around December. I still remember that because Spider-Man No Way Home came out on the same day. What a time it was. But Security Breach was very buggy at that time, and Steelwood didn't exactly have enough time to polish it. But after that, they actually managed to make themselves better. So now in games like Security Breach Ruin, and Security Breach Ruin, and Secret of the Mimic, the games are a lot more polished this time and less buggier. Although I didn't exactly see a lot of bugs when watching YouTubers like Dako, Abed Ryan, and Corey Kenshin play, it was still buggy according to many others. So, there's that. But yeah, this is the problem with many games in general. It's better never to rush anyone, especially with films as well, or any project in general. Okay, I don't exactly know anyone from the book, so I'm not gonna judge. Okay, what's this one? This seems like a little interesting one. Scott wasted the chance to have a well-written character. When he created CC, he showed us his backstory before and during his death, so of course he has to show us how he changed after he died and the role he's playing. Wait, what? I'm very confused about this. Made him something I can't even call a side character. Then people wonder why CC's... Who is CC? Is it Chris Afton or Evan Afton? Is this a... Wait, I'm so confused. I'm very confused. Scott wasted a chance to have a well-written character when he created CC, who I'm guessing is this little kid, even though I thought it was Evan. He showed us his backstory before and during his death, so of course he has to show us how he changed after he died. Well, how would he change after he died? He would just be dead. What would there be to see? Either I'm not thinking straight or this is just really confusing, honestly. Anyways, moving on. I really love Helpy. He's so cute and I wish he was real. I'm really surprised about one thing about Helpy is that after Five Nights at Freddy's 6, he just started coming in every other game. Okay, that's a lot. That's okay. I'm not gonna talk about it. Five Nights at Freddy's is slowly dying, and it's because of the latest mediocre
nuke the whole generation.
That has been content that has been coming from it. If Scott continues to manage this franchise, I doubt Five Nights at Freddy's sticking around after a few years, or at least the Mimic era, and Five Nights at Freddy's 3 movie. Okay, honestly, I don't exactly know where Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be going after they beat the Mimic, or or if the Mimic wins or whatever. I don't know what direction they're going to be going for. If I'm going to guess, they're not going to let the Mimic win, obviously. But I will still guess that Five Nights at Freddy's does have a chance of ending around there. But at the same time, I can kind of see it continuing, because remember when Henry Emily burned down William Afton and all the other animatronics, he set the souls free. But what he didn't do was that he didn't shut down Fazbear Entertainment for good. He only burned down the main villain for okay, how do I even say it? He only burned down a small minority of it. He got rid of just one problem, but then he didn't solve the other one, which was ending Fazbear Entertainment, because they kept on making more projects. They made Help Wanted, then they made the Security Breach, they made the Pizzaplex, and then yeah, well, there's no telling what happened after that, but yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna disagree with this. I can still see, uh, I can still see it moving forward. There are some Five Nights at Freddy's songs that come to life that are remixed by AP Angry Piggy. He's a really good fan of not Five Nights at Freddy's. I think he does more than just Five Nights at Freddy's, but he's a good artist. I actually like his music quite a lot. The first song that actually introduced me to him was his Into the Pit remix, and came around the time that the original Into the Pit song by Dawko came out, and I gotta admit his songs are pretty good. Though I haven't really kept in touch with much of his songs at this time. I've mostly kept in touch with his remixes, and those are pretty good, especially with It's Been So Long. And what else? I'm not exactly sure what else, but he's done other stuff. Okay, which one is this? Michael talks to William in the softest voice. With the utmost respect, but most fan content I see is Michael hating him with every fiber of his being and being rude and hateful to him after sister location. Michael respects William and surely scared of him. Guess it makes sense when his father is a maniac and would simply be hard to surpass that. I kind of agree with this. I mean, I have in fact seen a lot of fan and stuff which show Michael Afton just being disrespectful to William Afton and hating him quite a lot. Basically, just having a lot of hatred for William. You see this in the. You don't see this in the movie. You see him siding with William. You can tell he's even kind of scared of him. Honestly, I can kind of see it, especially if we see in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 them interacting. He's probably going to be far more scared of William Afton than when he was not Springtrap. So I'm gonna have to agree with this. So what's this? I think Five Nights at Freddy's YouTubers have a problem where they get information on a fan game horrendously wrong so I think it needs to be addressed. I do not know anything about this, so I don't even know why I bother saying anything about it. Okay, I'm looking for one last one, and it's gonna be interesting. Let's see what. Okay, should we do this one? Maybe not. Maybe. Okay, let's see this one. Elizabeth is William's favorite. Michael is definitely William's favorite.
No!
I do not think so. No, his favorite is so. What? BB. This one isn't working. I don't understand what's going on. Okay, let's see this one. I really don't understand how movie Michael is so misunderstood by the fandom when he's way more straightforward than his game counterpart will ever be. I know the writing isn't great, but the movie provides what's necessary. It shows William treated his children and that he got tense around the marionette doesn't mean he's never seen someone die before or that he's never killed anyone. Just means he values his own life and recognizes the danger. Yeah, I guess you could agree with it. I mean, he was a little terrified of the marionette, but I suppose that was his plan to set the puppet free for some reason. Maybe it was just to awaken Springtrap. Maybe that was the plan the whole time. And you know what I find quite weird about the movies? It's that when William Afton said to Vanessa within the first movie, "Clean up the mess that you created," apparently, let's just say that Vanessa never, Vanessa never felt bad for Mike Schmidt after what happened to him with his brother, and she just carried on with Afton's plan. Everything would have gone the same way that William Afton has been setting up a trap for his workers over the years. Because if you, well, apparently, because you remember from the first movie, during the very beginning scene, some night guard is getting chased down and he dies. So I guess that's kind of what he meant by clean up the mess that you created. Is that because she broke that cycle? She told Michael Schmidt about the danger that was gonna be coming to him and Abby if they both kept on going to the restaurant, if they kept going to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria over and over, and because she broke that cycle, things went sideways. William Afton became spring locked. Uh, the marionette got loose, and now William Afton is back. And as Golden Freddy said, he's gonna be more powerful than he was before. So maybe the thing is William Afton might have been right that she did make a mess, but she did the right thing. But there's gonna be like a really big, how do I say this? It's like, one of those times where games say that this action will have consequences. It's that type of situation. Vanessa made that action, there's gonna be consequences for it. So that's gonna be quite interesting to see for Five Nights at Freddy's 3, because for Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I really hope that Springtrap does win. Michael Afton doesn't have to appear. I hear there's not exactly a full-on confirmation. It was rumored apparently that it's not fully confirmed about whether he's going to be in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 or not. But let's just say if he's not in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, then they should make Five Nights at Freddy's like 5 and 4 and 6. Wait, 4, 5, 6. Yes, they need to make Five Nights at Freddy's 4, 5, and 6. And the thing is, they can make Michael Afton the main character for those movies instead of it being Michael Schmidt. So like from Five Nights at Freddy's 1 to 3, Mike Schmidt and Vanessa are the main characters, and then they just die within Five Nights at Freddy's 3. But they do manage to bring Springtrap down a lot, but he still does survive. So it's kind of like a villain wins, but the hero also wins. So it's like a win-win situation for both, if you could say that. Abby can live. Abby can definitely live, but Mike and Vanessa, honestly, they should just go. That's just my opinion. And then the rest they can focus on Henry and Michael Afton at the same time. So, anyways, those were Five Nights at Freddy's confessions. This video was a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be, but it was an interesting one. And if this one does work out, I will 100% do a part 2 on it. So, because this is actually interesting, it's interesting to debate about, but I just hope that the confessions don't get mid over time, because apparently that's what happens on this account sometimes, according to some people in the comments. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.